James, let's go.
Kabado pa nanguna, plano makausap. Lakad pa kalmado pero parang nalulula. Dami na kausap, kawan ng pusuan. Binibini gagawa na para ang makuha ka. Ikaw na ngayon at walang iba. Okay lang yung mundo man natin ay magkaiba. Mapagod man ako, ikaw ang aking pahinga. Sabay sasalubungin ang umaga ng nakahiga. So tuwing kasama ka para ako lumulutang. Kung paano kasaya yan hindi ko masukat. Lakas ang amat di kaya kong ginayuman. Ngayong kapit pa rin sa aking halimuyak niya. Gumagaan lahat ng mabigat. Pabuli lang tayo sa pagliyak. Lahat to panaginip lang. Pagising ko pangako yan agad kung sasabihin na
Gusto na kita makasama hanggang sa pagpapalarapat tayo na lang dalawa. Hindi lang masabi pa na iba. Gusto lang naman namin sa'yo ang nararamdaman ng ang puso. Wala nang iba. Huwag na pahirapan pa, andito na.
Di ba nga ito ang iyong gusto? O ito'y lilisan na ako? Mga alaala'y ibabaon. Kalakipang tamis ng kahapon. Gabing di namamalayang oras ay lumilipad. Mga sandaling lumalayag kung saan man tayo mapadpad. Bawat kilig na nagdarama sa tuwing hawak ang iyong kamay. Ito'y maling akala, isang malaking sablay. Pasensya ka na sa mga kathang isip kong ito. Wari dala lang ng pagmamahal sa iyo. Ako'y gigising na sa panaginip kong ito. At sa wakas ay kusang lalayo sa iyo. Lalayo sa kung gaano kabilis nagsimula. Maaari ba tayong bumalik sa umpisa upang linawasan pusong nag-iisa? Pasensya ka na sa mga kathang isip kong ito. Wari dala lang ng pagmamahal sa iyo. Ako'y gigising na sa lumingon, nasusulyapan ng kahapon.
Metro Plus, a service of Metro Broadcast. Now the news with Roy Encarnacion.
European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said on Saturday it was not possible to imagine giving back Russian assets frozen inside the bloc due to the war in Ukraine unless Moscow had paid reparations. We can't possibly imagine that if there is a ceasefire or peace deal, that these assets are given back to Russia if they haven't paid for the reparations, she told reporters before a meeting of EU foreign ministers in Copenhagen. The EU says some 210 billion euros of Russian assets are frozen in the bloc under sanctions imposed on Moscow for its invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine and some EU countries, including Poland and the Baltic states, have called for the EU to confiscate the assets and use them to support Kiev. But EU heavyweights France and Germany, along with Belgium, which holds most of the assets, have rebuffed such calls. They have pointed out that the EU has earmarked future profits from the assets to repay support for Ukraine and questioned whether there is a legal basis to confiscate them. Diplomats say the debate is now turning to how the funds might be used after the war in Ukraine comes to a halt. 3 people died and 5 were injured in Indonesia after protesters set fire to a regional parliament building, authorities said on Saturday, as demonstrations posed the first major test to President Prabowo Subianto's government. The Southeast Asian Nations Disaster Management Agency, in a statement, did not give the causes of the deaths in the Friday evening fire in Makassar, the capital of South Sulawesi province. The Antara news agency said the dead victims allegedly had been trapped in the burning building. The disaster agency said 2 of the injuries resulted from people jumping out of the building. Protests began in Indonesia's capital Jakarta this week over lawmakers' pay, escalating on Friday after a police armored vehicle hit and killed the driver of a ride-hailing motorbike. Prabowo, who took office in October last year, visited the home of the driver late on Friday, offering condolences to his parents and vowing to oversee the investigation into his death. Local media reported isolated looting in Jakarta and damage to several transportation facilities in Jakarta on Friday, as well as demonstrations in the major cities of Bandung and Yogyakarta. Ukrainian military said on Saturday that it had struck Russian oil refineries in Krasnodar and Syzran overnight. Kiev's military recorded multiple explosions and a fire at the Krasnodar oil refinery in Russia's south, which produces 3 million tons of light petroleum products annually. Russian authorities in Krasnodar said falling drone debris damaged one of the refinery's units and a fire had broken out over an area measuring 300 square meters. That fire was later extinguished, authorities said. There were no casualties and employees were evacuated, authorities wrote on Telegram. Russia's defense ministry said that it had downed 11 Ukrainian drones over the Krasnodar region overnight. There was also a fire at the Syzran oil refinery area in Samara region, which had a processing capacity of 8.5 million tons per year before August, the Ukrainian military said. The Asian Development Bank, or ADB, has announced $3 million in emergency assistance to support Pakistan's relief operations following devastating floods across the country. Pakistan is experiencing devastating flooding that has displaced families and communities, and ADB stands firmly with Pakistan during this crisis. ADB President Masato Kanda said in a statement on Friday, the grant, to be provided from the Asia-Pacific Disaster Response Fund, reflects ADB's commitment to both immediate humanitarian needs and long-term recovery, he noted. At least 22 people were killed in floods over the past 24 hours, while more than 1.5 million people have been affected by the disaster, according to the National Disaster Management Authority. Officials have warned that another spell of heavy rains could further aggravate the situation.
Metro Plus weather.
It will be mainly cloudy with 1 or 2 showers. The minimum temperature will be about 28 degrees in the morning. It will be hot with sunny intervals during the day. The maximum temperature will be around 32 degrees in the urban areas and a couple degrees higher in the new territories. There will be isolated thunderstorms later in the day. Relative humidity will stand between 75 to 95%, and we can expect